Howdy, I'm the Chinese Zodiac Killer, labeled a cannibal killer by the media in conjunction with the federal so-called Justice Department. Now, why I mailed the hundreds of letters that I did over a course of 21 months vary in motive. The prime motive was to save the planet, believe it or not, and the most efficient manner of doing so that I could conceive on my most base level of social class was to bring mass media attention to myself and my story, and doing so, thus potentially enabling me to get enough popularity in the long run to get elected as commander-in-chief, and then be in the highest position possible to make the decisions I felt would be the most optimal and efficient in saving the planet, and likewise straighten out this shit show of what we refer to as a society and government. Yes, seriously. So how would I tackle some key issues we face these days? Now, today a friend asked me what my stance on immigration was. So let's discuss this now. To begin, I've already written an hour-long lecture on solutions to the immigration crisis literally years ago, never published or discussed it. So I put a lot of thought into this. I would, however, immediately address that there are different social classes of immigrants from my viewpoint. At the very basis of identifying these social classes of immigrants, I can see that there are two kinds right from the start: legal immigrants and illegal immigrants. Now, as far as legal immigrants go, I have little to discuss. Any immigrant that legally receives citizenship here in the U.S. is not something I'm overly critical of. So let's discuss the social class of illegal immigrants. Certainly not all illegal immigrants are immoral monsters, regardless of anyone's opinion on them as a whole. I can honestly have some empathy and understanding that it is not surprising that someone would want to better their life, especially if they are destitute and poverty-stricken. Thus, I would immediately divide illegal immigrants into two social classes from the very start: peaceful people who are just looking to better their lives out of desperation, such as pregnant women, and then actual terrible people who commit the worst of atrocities, such as hurting or even slaying people, including children, or terrorists. I'll discuss what I think should be done if I was commander-in-chief with the aforementioned social class of illegal immigrants, such as peaceful people, in a subsequent video. So don't touch that dial. But for this video, let's discuss my solution as to how we should attend to vicious illegals who literally do the worst of acts of immoral acts to innocent people. Now, when I was in federal prison for my charge as the Chinese Zodiac Killer, my cellmate was a Brazilian. He was very nice, with a family, who overstayed his visa so he could keep working in the U.S. to support his family, unfortunately by stealing someone else's identity. Now, after arrested, the feds incarcerated him for a few years, and then he was to be deported. The thing that bothered me about all this that I don't get is if they were going to deport him anyway, it makes no sense to me as to why they would send the taxpayers a bill for the approximate $44,000 per year to cost of imprisoning him. Of course, for those who are not aware, the prison system is a money-making enterprise for private ownership, of which all sorts of politicians, judges, DAs, etc. all likely have their grubby little fingers in, and you will notice that the U.S. locks up more people per capita than likely any country in the world. Likewise, a quick online search shows that the process of deporting an illegal immigrant is somewhere around $17,000 in itself. So in regards to these very evil, vicious, illegal immigrants, do you, the taxpayer, think that you should be paying over $40,000 a year to incarcerate them, or even $17,000 to deport them, which is a risk due to the potential to re-enter the U.S. and then commit more atrocities? If deporting any such individual is thus too risky, do you, the taxpayer, feel that paying $40,000 or more per year for perhaps decades to imprison a single person is reasonable? At 10 years in prison, that's a $400,000 bill. At 25 years, that's $1 million bill for us as taxpayers, if my shitty math skills are correct. Now, a quick online search says that a rough estimate of illegal immigrants with a history of homicide numbers around 13,000. Now, this is just a figure to use as an example. This doesn't also include the unknowns, which is a vast number amount more likely. So if we were to imprison 13,000 murderers a year at a cost of $400,000 apiece, that's $5.2 billion for 25 years in prison. That's like $13 billion. So our national debt is like $39 trillion, yet we as taxpayers keep paying billions of dollars to imprison people who do things like chop little girls' heads off so that the whores tied to the Bureau of Prisons can capitalize on this while you and I pay the bill. This isn't just regarding illegals. It is also to babysit naturalized U.S. citizens who do things like cut little girls' heads off. So, not to mention, far more people are incarcerated at a vast cost due to the taxpayers for all sorts of other crimes. My 13 and a half months I served for mailing freaky letters likely at least cost the taxpayers $44,000, if not $50,000. That's right, folks. You paid up to $50,000 to imprison me for sending out chapters of my horror series to promote my books and my publicity stunt. So, do you think that the cost of imprisoning people from any particular case of writing unpopular letters like I did to paying insane amounts of money for serial killers and rapists for decades is worth the cost? Now hold that thought as I point out that I myself paid something like $135 tonight for a bag and a half of groceries and some laundry detergent. What then should we do with the social class of illegal immigrants that are so vile that they murder innocents? The same thing that we should do with the naturalized citizens who do this. We liquidate them with extreme prejudice. Now, while I could find mass public executions gratifying, I personally advocate for the return of the Roman Colosseum. In this day and age of packed sports arenas, I would think that gladiator combat and stylish executions, arena style, would be a massive moneymaker. This would eradicate the worst people and boost the economy with a surplus of new income, while cutting down on trash and pollution and simultaneously saving billions of dollars to the taxpayers that you can't afford. So remember, kids, next time the presidential election comes around, you can write my name in. Jesse Bartlett, the Chinese Zodiac Killer. I'll straighten this shit show out, and you'll have cheaper groceries, and less violent crime, and less pollution. Stay tuned for further discussion on how to attend to those illegal immigrants that are of the common and more innocent social class. So don't touch that dial. Check out my past comment, and like, share, and subscribe.